Make sure to subscribe to Apillow on YouTube. Very cool content creator.
People, everyone around, gather around. Old Pillow's got something to show you today about what we're going to be talking about. We are talking about the Squid Games. So, Squid Game, very popular Korean drama, came out a couple of years ago, got really popular on Netflix, and recently, Netflix decided, hey, this show that was like a game show, what if we did it in real life? And so they did. Sounds like a perfect idea. It definitely doesn't conflict with the themes of Squid Game, which was heavily critical of the current system that we live in, especially in terms of the way that people in poverty often have to, bust their tails in order to make enough money to make a living, and also commentary on how exploitative, horrible, dangerous jobs can be, to the point where people are willing to risk their lives in order to gain a high amount of money so that they can get out of them, and also just a little bit on the exploitative nature of game shows, which often get people on them who don't necessarily have a lot of money for a good portion of game shows, and they're offering a life-changing amount of money. An entire show about how crappy that whole system is, that people feel the need to basically sell their bodies to big companies and rich people in order to make money so that they can get out of debt. So Netflix decided to turn that show into a real thing, and let's just say people aren't quite liking it. So first, let's talk about some issues. One, this is coming to us from Entrepreneur, which is trying to get me to buy their subscription. That's not going to happen. Contestants from the real-life Squid Game are claiming they faced inhumane conditions, nerve damage. So we scroll down to here. In 2021, the Korean fictional drama series Squid Game became a global sensation, pretty much what I was saying before, and it also led to the creation of a real-life game show called Squid Game: The Challenge, which premiered this month on the streaming platform. As we continue on, we see some talk about their conditions, but now some of the game show's contestants are claiming they faced inhumane conditions during filming, including nerve damage and hypothermia, because I believe it was filmed in the UK, where, if you might imagine, it gets very cold in the UK, especially later into the year and early into the year, during the winter and fall months. And even spring, it's very cold in the UK. Two contestants have reportedly approached a British personal injuries law firm to represent them for injuries that occurred during the opening sequence of the show, which was filmed on a former Royal Air Force base in Britain. The game in question is called Red Light, Green Light, and requires contestants to move at command of a large animatronic doll when green light is called, and stop when red light is called. If contestants move at the wrong time, they are eliminated. 3 of the 456 contestants needed immediate medical attention while filming the game, Netflix confirmed in February, aka very cold month. I was born in February. I can tell you straight up, as someone born in February, February sucks, okay? In part due to a massive cold front and freezing temperatures that plagued the area during filming. So you got a bunch of people, well, not a bunch of people, but you got 3 people who needed immediate medical attention for hypothermia, or approaching hypothermia due to how cold it was during the filming of that game, which requires you to, stand still for large periods of time outside. Why couldn't they just rent out, like, a gym to do this? I don't know. It's Netflix. We gotta get the money somehow, we gotta exploit a bunch of people to make money off of the show that was originally critical over big corporations and rich people exploiting people for entertainment, you know, so that they can get a piddly little bit of money, a piddly little stipend, while risking their lives to escape the horrible life that they're in. And on that note, we even see this in the show. So this is coming from Netflix's own Twitter account. Netflix verified, you see him with the golden check mark. 299 had the most dramatic exit. 299 had the most dramatic reality show exits of all time. I put I jumbled up the words a bit there. I apologize. So we see a contestant here. They're doing the cookie game where you have the cookie and it has like the little divots in it, and they have to take like the sewing needle and they have to like break out the shape from the cookie. So we see this guy doing this. I'm going to cut off the audio because I don't want to get copyright. So we see this say Belch's stomach rumbles, which, listening to the audio, that's coming from this guy. This guy is absolutely panicking during this entire sequence, and then it cracks, and we get 37 seconds of this guy basically having a breakdown, because as you can imagine, the prize pool for this was $4.5 million. To a lot of people, not even necessarily people who are in debt, but to a lot of people, that is life-changing money that will make your circumstances entirely better. Not everyone who is in debt is rich. Not everyone who's not in debt is rich, I should say. A lot of people still live paycheck to paycheck, and if this guy's living paycheck to paycheck, he just missed out on life-changing money. And Netflix is acting like this is a dramatic reality show exit. This guy crying because he lost the chance to get that money that could have changed his life. Netflix, the big corporation, is acting like this is a dramatic reality show exit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is demonic. Okay? And I like to use that term sparingly, but, I mean, we even see people in the comments saying this. Jordan Wharton, the writing Spartan, this show should never have been made. The original was literally an example of why something like this shouldn't exist in real life. We have Halo Plasma posting. Does Netflix not realize the irony in literally any of this, or what? Joe SD, to be fair, being in that position must have sucked. I felt bad for him. Tom F. Battinger, we have completely lost the plot. Literally, they lost the plot of Squid Game. We get Blue Lines TV, a soccer fan. You know it's bad whenever the soccer fans on Twitter are crapping on you because you're so horrible. You know it's bad when that happens. Feels like out of principle, I can't watch this show. This ain't weird to nobody else? Yeah. People aren't necessarily responding to this positively. And I'll tell you why. Squid Game wasn't just popular because it was a thrilling entertainment show with horror aspects. Squid Game was also popular because it spoke to a lot of people. It spoke to a lot of people about the crappy state of many countries' economies. This isn't just something that South Korea is dealing with. South Korea isn't just dealing with a crisis where millions of people are in debt. South Korea isn't the only country dealing with that. They aren't the only country dealing with people living paycheck to paycheck. They aren't the only country living with extreme poverty. This happens in every country around the globe, some more than others, but it also happens in the United States, of course. And it spoke to a lot of people to see the lengths that people would go to break out of that. They were willing to risk their lives in the original series in order to break out of that. And only one person could win. They were willing to risk their lives to make that money, and here, while no one's getting killed, they're still risking a lot of emotional health, mental health, the stress that must be on someone competing with almost 500 other people, knowing that only one of you can get the pool of $4.5 million and change your life. That amount of stress has to be insane. And we see Netflix here exploiting it to make money, to make more money, exploiting the critique of this exact kind of practice in order to make more money, thinking that they can skate off of people only caring about Squid Game because of how flashy and how like horrific and thrilling it was, and not the fact that Squid Game is, you know, about what it is about. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I'm glad that we're seeing backlash to this. Because it is disgusting. This entire show is calling out the system, and Netflix is trying to use it to perpetuate the system. And I'm glad that people are not responding positively to this. Because it shouldn't be responded positively to. This is disgusting. Flat out. Full stop. Straight up disgusting. And I'm glad that it does seem that common people are starting to gain a bit of a consciousness. Oh god, that sounded pretentious. That's not how I meant. I'm glad that people who aren't usually keyed into politics, in particular lefty politics, are really starting to come across the ideas and come across, personal feelings of class consciousness, acknowledging the fact that this is what we're living with. These big corporations are exploiting people through doing stuff like this, and that it's disgusting, and that no one should have to deal with this. I'm glad that people are coming to those conclusions themselves instead of having to be taught it, because after you come to those conclusions, there's only really one route that you can go. I mean, technically there's another route, but, most people in the modern day probably aren't going to be going that route, considering what happened in 2020 and 2021. So, they're going the leftward route, and that's what we like to see. But with that being said, what else we like to see is channel growth. Channels grown extensively. Yesterday I hit 4.9k, not I, but you all, the channel, hit 4.9k, and we're already at 4,925 subscribers thereabouts, so we're already a quarter through that, which is insane, and you can help add to those numbers if you aren't subscribed by subscribing. You can also hit the like button. It pushes out this video to other people on YouTube, because it tells YouTube that, hey, people like this video, so that helps me out a lot as a smaller content creator. And you can also just directly share it. You can also join the Discord down below so that whenever I go live. We also do community stuff there. We talk. Occasionally someone hops in a VC. It's a nice community of over 200 people, almost 300 people, so you never have a shortage of people to talk to. As well as this, you can follow me on Twitter, links down below as well, and you can shoot me an email if you want to email me. That's down below as well. I love you all. Stay safe out there. Don't get hypothermia. Please, it's not fun. And I love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Gotta hit the stop recording button.